Joining me right now live here in the studio, Margie Warrell, author and certified professional life coach, and it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks.
You have what you call the emotional stimulus plan, not an economic stimulus plan. Tell us why we need an emotional stimulus plan right now.
Yeah, well, obviously a lot of people are feeling very anxious right now and fearful, and I think it's human nature. We like to have certainty and security. So a lot of people are really struggling to stay positive and weather this current economic storm in a way that allow them to come out the other side better off.
So what do you do?
Well, I think there's three key things that I've identified. I think the first thing is to choose positive company. There are a lot of messages we're being bombarded with daily about why we should feel fearful and hunker down, play safe, and we're surrounded often by what I call psychic vampires, those people that are constantly in complaint and causing us to feel more anxious. So really it's important to, while you can't always choose your company, you can choose whether or not you let their fears and anxieties become your own.
Sometimes it's really hard to put up a barrier that keeps the negative messages out.
It is.
What do you advise for that?
Yeah, well, I think then it's really important. The second thing is to choose positive thoughts. You know, ultimately, those people that are going to come through this current adversity better off are those who refuse to succumb to the anxiety and the fears, and who ultimately say, you know what, what's the opportunity here? What is there for me to learn from this situation? Obviously, America has had tough times before, and it's come out the other side of it. And I've no doubt that ultimately people will pull through this more resourceful, more resilient. But it's the attitude you choose to have. And I think choosing a positive attitude is really important.
And how difficult, and the answer to this is obvious, but how difficult is it really to stay optimistic, to think the positive thoughts and surround yourself with positive people when right now it's tough to be optimistic?
It is tough.
If you're searching for a job.
It is tough. There's no doubt about it. Right now, things are difficult for people. And I think, you know, we've got to acknowledge that. It's not easy. But, you know, we can't all be Chicken Little looking up all the time going, is the sky about to fall in on me? Life will go on. And if we look outside ourselves, we'll see that there's a lot of people that are far worse off than we are. So I think focus on what you can do, not on what you can't. Focus on what you want versus what you don't want. And don't get into this downward spiral of thinking, woe me, you know, the world's falling apart, the sky's falling in. Because ultimately, we're a lot more capable, ultimately a lot more resourceful than we often give ourselves credit for.
And real quickly, you run out of time, but you do have a book where you give a lot of advice for doing just this thing.
Yeah.
So tell people about it.
Sure, I have a book, Find Your Courage, which is really about helping people face their challenges and live their life with more courage. And people can learn more about it on the blog, findyourcourage.com.
All right, Margie Warrell, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks,
really
Beverly.
appreciate it.